Hello. Hello, hello. Getting things set up. Final touches. That is fine. We are live. I need to double check we're live. Twitch says I'm offline, so that's fun. That is fun. All right. Just making sure both is good. All right. Just making sure. Awesome. Hello, hello. Networking. It's been a while. Been a while since I've had a look at my networking library. I wonder if I even have like my old one. I think it's not called Nullslayer, that's for sure. Yeah, we might just start from the start, really. Like, I don't think there's any reason not to. Oh, not. Okay, let's have a look at GitHub. Let's have a look at what I used to have and see what we can glean from that at very least. At very least. Oh, I think I forgot to there we go. Poku. Okay, so do I have my old networking library public? We'll probably borrow a bunch of stuff from it. So I think I was using the Mio library back in the day. Okay, here we are. Here it is. So yeah, this is my old networking library implementation. Delicious. Okay, we used Clap and Mio. Okay. Alright. What is the state of Mio these days? I haven't looked at it a long ass time. Mio. Okay, so Mio. Yeah, it looks like it... Is it still a thing? Yes. Yes, it is. Hell yeah. Unsupported flags. What? Ooh. Okay, anyway. So Mio looks like it's still fine. Linus still has the bug, that's fine. Those ones don't matter. Yo! Welcome back, Strux. We're having a look at the old networking library that I had, and like we might just pull the code from here, but we're gonna continue working on, well, not continue, like start working on this networking library that I've started to make like ages ago, ages and ages ago, as I guess like a small break from the game. But we'll be getting to back to the game like probably next stream even. Okay, so for some reason I had all this stuff in main, and is this because I was running tests? Yeah, it looks like I was just running tests, so I just put it all in main instead of using it like a library. Okay, so that looks like fun, all of this. Okay. What have we done here? So we have a new connection thing that holds connection information and function for reading. That is optional. Okay, functional reading function. That's interesting. Okay. Network data, easy peasy. Mat network. Okay, so this is Mat network's the whole thing. So it has an event handler. Networking is a lot of fun to mess with. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Or yeah. Okay, and then it keeps a list of connections that are streams and a list of new connections along with pending data. Sorry, I'm just checking whether or not you can hear my housemates or not. One sec.
I would tell you a joke about UDP, but you probably wouldn't get it.
That is a pretty funny joke. That is hilarious. Good one. Solid joke. 10 out of 10. I'm still need to BRB for like 2 seconds. Alright, okay, so where were we at? Oh yeah, funny joke. UDP, amazing. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so I had TCP as a thing originally, and then I did start adding UDP because it was faster, and you know, you may not get it, which is the fun part. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna have a look at all of this again and just redo it because there was definitely a bunch of downsides with doing it this way, and I might refer back to my old code for like how I solved some problems. Because if we have a look, I don't think it's too crazy. So I didn't actually end up spending much time on it. I just did a bunch, and then I was like, oh, that's Pog. And then I did try it out in a game, but I had to heavily customize it for the game to work properly, which is, I guess, against what I'm trying to make it for. But it worked, which I guess is the important part. Okay, so Mio. Okay, I guess we'll just look at some Mio examples and go from there. So if I make this big, actually, let's just go cargo new. Let's just call it Mat network. Rework. It's not snake case. I always get wrecked with that. Mat network. Okay, so if we open up the main, make it big, make the text huge. We open up the cargo tunnel, fix the little naming hiccup. So Mat network, rework, sick. All right, that is that. Okay, so let's get a refresher on how Mio works exactly. Let's make this half the screen. Examples, that's what I'm after. Okay, so should we just jump straight to UDP? Like, you raise Team Snake Case? Yeah, Snake Case is cool. Screaming Snake Case. Oh yeah, that's like constances in Rust, right? That's all caps but underscores as separations. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I believe Snake's case is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite. And that is not totally not because before learning Rust, I didn't really have a preferred one, and then after learning Rust, I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, so we need to make client server kind of deal for now. No, client to client. We need it to communicate to each other. So we need one of them to host, another one to like receive stuff, and then we'll work from there. So we're actually just gonna like copy a lot of this stuff. So actually I need to import Mio in. I'll go toml. Mio, get in here. What version are they up to these days? Wow, maybe the internet is being slow. Well, they recommend 1, but what are they actually up to? They're up to 1. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's start writing out their example and start customizing it for our purposes. All right, so we do need polling. Okay, let's use Mio. Use Mio events interest poll token. Okay, we want just the most basic example. Okay, so we'll get a new poll. We'll create a new poll. We'll just unwrap it because we're unsafe like that. Events, sure, we'll make a new events thing. Their example uses events for the capacity 1, which I guess is fine for now. Obviously, in the future, we will want it to have a lot more capacity than that. The address, sure, the local address of everything. Well, it includes the port, so that is worth noting. It includes the port. I don't know what type that turns into, and I guess they don't either per se, because it just turns into whatever this bind becomes. Okay, so here that socket is equal to UDP socket. My monitor was threatening to turn off just now. Rust is capable of making a tool like Wireshark, right? Yeah. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it is 100% capable of making something like Wireshark. Like, I wouldn't know how exactly that would work, but yep, I have faith. So we'll just pass in the address, unwrap it as well. Alright, so then we get to the interesting part. So we register a new address that we've bound for UDP, and we make sure it is UDP and readable. So hold it registry, sorry. Then we register the socket. We make sure it's got the right parameters. I remember this like interest being quite frustrating to work around. Like sometimes it wouldn't work how you expect it to be. You tried asking GPT a few months ago to see how networking was for Rust, and it told me that C++ was more capable. I don't know, maybe like I guess the whole thing about ChatGPT is like it basically just takes the average response of everything it's read. So I guess on out of the things it's read in text, it's come to that conclusion, I suppose. All right, we give it a little buffer. 0 to 16. Oh, that's cool. The linter like expands this into like the full number. That's pretty sick actually. Okay, and we got the fun part. We got the loop. Okay, so for event in events. Okay, so this gets all the events that come in from the UDP socket, presumably currently because it's the only one. And then we're matching the event token. Right? Yeah, we are. And so we're looking for a UDP socket. If the event is a UDP socket, we're looping? How long are we looping for? We're looping until we get the full receive. Right, yep, I remember this. So basically, receive from, we make sure the buffer is what we're receiving. Oh yeah, and basically OK is packet size, source address. Wait, what does this do? Socket.send to and buff. Okay, so we're sending the packet back. Is that what we're doing? We're sending the data we get right back to the sender. And we have that this match statement. All right, and we error if it would block if the kind is equal to IO error kind. Oh, it would block. Alright, so if we're still waiting for it to come in, then we just get out of the loop and continue around again, I guess. And if there's another error, then we just panic. No, we just return the error. So I'm going to put a little panic here, and we'll see when it pops up. Because I think there's another case where once you hit, when it gives you 0 packet size, you're actually done. Don't remember. Then we need a break here. Not that it matters. And then, oh, this is just for unexpected stuff. So, unexpected event. And we just print out the event. That is fine. Alright, so does this run, I guess? That's the first question. So cd get mat network rework. Does it run? I need to make it bigger. Oh no. Okay, does it run? It does not? Question mark? Wait. Requirement mirror 1. So 8.10 is the latest? Hang on. Did I just read the cargo tomorrow? I guess I did. Yeah, 8.10. Okay. Replace 0, replace 8. Alright, what's this error saying? Unwrap is pretty much like a form of error handling, right? You haven't really gotten to that yet. Unwrap is basically, yeah, I guess so. Like, you probably shouldn't be using unwrap, but I do because this is going to be all changed like immediately. But essentially, this is returning most of these either return okay or error, or they are returning some and none. And basically unwrap is like ignore everything and give me back the inids of either some or okay. And if that isn't true, your program will panic. And so I use it when I'm lazy because you don't always need to handle it and you can presume it's going to work in a bunch of cases. But like binding this socket here, I will almost definitely have a match statement for it. Parsing this, I probably won't need one because I will make sure all the inputs possible are always valid. So having unwrap here is probably fine. Yeah. Chingo, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Okay, so how did we fuck up so hard? Like, look at all these errors. Poll new? What? We were copying the example, weren't we? Did I mess up? Poll new. Poll new. Do we need to... What? Wait. How did we mess up? Oh, we just need to have UDP socket as... right. Of course. Don't mind me. I just forgot an entire import. I mean, that covers like this maybe. Mio. Oh wait, no, I remember. I need to like enable features, don't I? Holy error kind net. Wait, what? This? Wait, hang on. Are their examples outdated? 7 months, 2 years. Okay. Maybe their examples are outdated. Okay. We'll be working off documentation then, since... yeah. Okay, so poll. Where is poll? What functions does poll have? How do we poll? Okay, so poll, it has an example. Okay, that's cool. It does use poll new though, so what's going on? What is going on? Blah. It does have new. Okay, yeah, okay. Poll only, okay. Right, of course, yes. Yeah, features, like I said. Outdated docs suck? Well, yeah, it's not quite outdated. I forgot you needed to choose between polling and the other option. And if you don't have like most of the things because they're features that you can enable. Yeah, OS poll and then or like the Windows specific stuff. Yeah, so OS poll. Okay, we need to enable OS poll. Version features iOS poll. Hopefully that fixes some of our things. Yeah, poll new is done. Okay, sick. And we need a networking one. Wait, what did I do? What did I use on my other project? Almost as bad as outdated tutorials. You'll get 2 hours into one and a ton of stuff ends up changing. You have to set your dependence or your dependencies to a way older version. That's pretty unfortunate, yeah. Like, yeah, I need net. So I had features, OS poll and net, easy. Yeah, I tend to try to avoid tutorials unless they're written, and then at least I can scroll through and see what's what. And then even then, like, I only steal. I only use the very small amount that I'm actually looking for. Now, obviously, this doesn't work as well if you are like new to the language or trying to like do a whole project, but I think it's still a good way to go about it. And like even if you are like quote unquote following a tutorial, lots of it will still be valid, but I think you would end up learning a lot more, even if it's going to be more work. Because if you find a tutorial that's good, and you're like, oh, I want to make the thing the tutorial is showing me, and then as you follow it, you look up how to do it the new way and start doing it the new way, and that way you can see well, I guess you gain two knowledges at once. You get knowledge of how it used to be done versus how it's done now, and then also how to translate between them, as well as I guess actually learning what you're doing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's obviously going to be a lot more work than just following a tutorial. Okay, so error kind is inside Mio, so, or it's other standard. So error kind, wait, it's just part of standard? Readable. Oh, I've got an A. Wow. My typing betrays me again. And then this constant is probably just in, let's say, import things. Okay, it's still not like, okay, I guess it is just in standard. Use std net error kind. Or was it under IO? It might have been under IO. It was under IO. Save. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's probably better in some cases, maybe not so much for people who just learned Python 2 right when Python 3 was released. True, I guess. Like, I don't actually know the difference between Python 2 and 3 other than they replaced switch statements with match statements. I hadn't realized there was a big difference. Okay, why are we like having issues? Events. There's no hello? Okay, where's events? Because events is just essentially just a vector and you're just giving it a capacity, right? Yeah, with capacity. With capacity. Capacity? I just missed an A, that was all. I'm surprised the compiler wasn't like, oh, you missed an A. Oh, I did. Never mind, I just can't read. Wait, why is this still... What? You removed... Wait, where's this UDP constant? Oh, is it one they set? And that's what I'm missing with the constant, because you set the path that is in examples, UDP. Yeah, they do. Okay, and it's a token. Okay, so we'll just go const UDP socket is a token, and the token will have an ID of 0. Excellent. Okay, error kind. We just need to get rid of the IO part, right? And then socket needs to be readable. Awesome. So if I run this, it is running apparently. And if we open up a new terminal and we run, what do they say to run? Here we are, our local address at port 9000. And we'll type hello. We did not get anything back. Okay, so what's going on? Let's see. NC minus U. Wait. Did we put the port right in here? 127.0.01 9000. You need colon 9000. Oh, for the NC one. It doesn't say, well, in the NC example, in the print line they have there, it says it's separate parameters. Yeah, port number is the second parameter. This is not working. Can I ping, like, wait, would pinging it work? That seems kind of weird, but maybe it would. No, it did not. I pinged myself. I did ping myself. Okay. Readable events, event token. Okay, so we're not getting any events at all, I guess. Well, actually, if I do a print on here, so is in UDP socket loop. Let's try again. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I want their example. Oh my god, you heard that. What the? That's really coming through. How does this NC thing work? So P is the source port. We don't care about source port. And the -U is... Oh, -U... Does it set UDP? What does that even do? Because, like, you do NC and then you have destination port separated by a space. Does U even do anything? Oh, U keeps it open? Can I do, like... help? Oh, that is all. Because they have all of this. Then they don't describe it. Okay, so is it something wrong with our code or is it something wrong with our programming? Let me have a look at how I set it up in here. Okay, so network stream, when we register it, we go register token and interest, and we keep the token, that's fine. Write data to write, we're trading it, and rewriting data. Because we're not seeing this, so we're not getting the... Wait, what is going on? Because, like, I mean, it seems to make sense. Yeah, do we make it to this big loop? In network loop. Okay, we are in the network loop. Token UDP. Okay, yeah, so we're matching for the specific token, or like an event from this specific token. Okay, that makes sense. But why are we not getting anything back? I mean, like, the other thing is we could just make another run thing that just handles communicating with the UDP, since like actually can interacting it with it from the terminal doesn't actually matter that much. Because yeah, look, they keep using NC IP and port in order to do it. In order to their recommended way of doing it, but that definitely works for. Have a look. Actually, description. NC is TCP and UDP. Okay. So, do we have to enable a UDP only kind of thing? RS S T T again. Use Unix domain sockets cannot be used together with F or X on Linux. If the name starts with a symbol, it is read as abstract namespace socket. Oh yeah, -u lowercase. Use the UDP instead of TCP. That is what we need. So we are using it correctly. I guess it is connecting because like if we go and see -uu 127.0.1 9000, is it running currently? Oh wait, no, we're in the wrong one. And then here we'll run this again. But like, alright, so without it, like, So this NC thing works regardless of whether or not the program is running itself or not. So it should be receiving stuff. So I have to. Let's see. Okay. Maybe what if we just print the results of all. Wait. Why is this like becoming difficult? This should not be difficult. Wait, what if we just call this a TCP socket? TCP. Oh wait, UDP. Sure, we'll still say wait. Oh here, the socket. We change this to TCP. Do we need anything else? TCP stream and listener are. Is what you do a listener here and you bind it to address. Hang on, so if we go TPC listener and you bind it to address and we pass that through, we also import TCP listener. Okay, this part changes because it's not UDP anymore. Connection and address. And so I just comment this out for now. And when we go in the loop, we will be sure. Let's just go match server accept. So this would be socket accept. And then we'll go okay. And then we go connection and address. For now I'm just gonna print them out, so connection and address. connection address, and then for anything else, let's just print it out and see how that goes. Connection please, the debug thing, and then this needs to be semicolon. Okay. Okay, does that compile? It is compiling. Apparently it's running, so what, we just do this without the U? Okay, here we are. So I closed the server and it blocked this one because this one, okay, so they are connecting now because it's connected, but this loop thing is not working. Well, like, we're not getting events, I guess, is what it is. Networking stuff's a lot more fickle than I remember. UDP. Maybe I should work out all this stuff off stream. Here we are. So sender and echo. They have a better example here. Okay, let's just copy that example. So we'll highlight everything, and then we'll delete. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Alright, if we use this example here, we need a sender and a receiver, I guess. Const UDP socket echo. Sure, we'll use echo. We'll keep the terms the same. At least this way it will be all within code, and we don't have to worry about if I'm fucking it up in terms of the terminal. Okay, so UDP socket, we're binding them both at the same address, which is at port 0 apparently. Yep. Copy paste, receive, I guess echo. It's the same. So we have two that are going to be bound to the same port. So then we have sender.connect to the echo.local address. So we're telling it to connect to the echoer. So yeah, so the sender is connecting to the address that's here. That makes sense. And then we create a poll. So poll is equal to poll new. And we'll unwrap that. We need to register both of them. So registry, register, and mut of sender, which has the UDP sender token. And it has an interest of writable because we want it to send data. And we'll copy and paste this, and this is for the echoer. Echoer, interest of readable. Okay, yeah, this is looking a lot better, I guess, as an example. I'm sure we'll send 9 to 9 of just 9 nines, and then we'll make a buffer buffer is 0 to 9. Lemma events is equal to events with capacity. Let's just do 1 for now. And then we create the loop. Oh, you know what I forgot? You know what I forgot in the last example? I realized what I forgot just now. That made the other one, this one, not work. I forgot this. That line there, that really small line right there. I forgot to actually make it poll for events. Just like ever. Oh, what a dumb mistake. That's hilarious though. Forgetting to make it actually poll. Okay, so poll.poll. We make sure it has events and the duration should be 0, right? Let me have a look. So polling. Where was polling handled in my thing here? Connection types of event handlers. Yeah, poll new. No, next token. Network stream. Let's find polling. Poll. There is no poll here. Is it under mod? It is not under mod. Connection type, I guess. Well, that's where we register the connections. Okay, wait. That means polling must be in the main function. Yeah, here we are. So duration 0. Yep, okay, I did remember. Right, duration 0. So it's non-blocking. And then we do all the event stuff. So event in events.iter. We're matching the event token. We're matching that to the UDP sender, and we're also matching it to the UDP echoer, and then everything else. Okay, so the sender is that bytes send is equal to sender socket dot send, and we're sending a message to send dot unwrap. Println set that to that many bytes, I guess. Question marks. Okay, so message to send, as well as bytes sent. Right, because the send function only sends a portion of bytes. Oh yeah, I remember dealing with that. Because once they get big enough, you need to start actually caring about whether or not they make it or not. But before that point, you can willy-nilly send whatever and it always sends the whole thing. Which is pretty funny. Zero to 9. Hell yeah. Okay, so poll has too many L's. We don't know what duration is, so use std. Is it time? And then duration. We need to unwrap this. We need to what? Oh, we need to unwrap here, up here. So we need to unwrap these. Save. Duration is base into socket not found in the scope. How do my comments not use / / I don't have any comments. If you're talking about these grey things, that's my linter. Like, because like if I come down here, like, yeah, it's my linter. Because like if I go to the end of the line here, we go, this is a comment, and like, this is my linter. Like, the text here is not actually there. So yeah, all of these is just, yeah, it's very cool. It's very handy because I can see like this gets a buff, and if returns a buffer, and if I remove the unwrap, I can see this is returning a usize, like a result that's either a usize or an error. It's very nice. Like, it stops having to like look up things, and it does have useful names as well. Like this one's timeout for the second parameter, so I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's going on here. Okay, 0. These needs to be all capitals, I believe. And then pol needs to become mutable. Yeah, we don't care about the result of that. I mean, we probably should, but we don't. Okay, wait. So if we have that there, does that mean we can connect? We should be able to connect with this as well. And we just put this as 0. Port number 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's change the port number in the game, in the application. So let's go back to 9000. Save this. Place that in there. Well, this might be why we weren't able to do it before. Address and use. Well, let's try 9001 then. Oops. Oh yeah, what if we have to use different addresses between sender and receiver? Yeah, there we go. And so our receiver / echoer is 9002. We go hello. I don't think it's working though. Test. Because we should be receiving. Oh wait. I haven't. Hang on. I haven't put the print line here. Okay, so then yeah, we need to go print line. Alright, so the echoer just prints whatever it gets. Yeah, it does just print. Okay, that's what we want it to do. So so echo that to this. Okay, so buffer and number received. It's fine. Okay, so if we run it now, it should be a little bit more. No? What? Save. Am I doing this wrong? Wait, this sent. Is this meant to be? No. So the sender connects to the echoer. That is a different port. We register the sender as writable, the echoer is readable. And if we get an event that is the sender, we send bytes. If we get an event that's an echoer, we receive the buffer. And then we print line it, and then we reset the buffer back down to 0. Okay, so that should be working, but we're not getting any echo things, are we? Hang on, if I connect with this, and we go like, hello. So what if we connect to the other one and go hello? It closes us off. Okay, so what if we stop sending? What happens? Hello. Okay, that one just kicks us out immediately, and this one. Okay, so it does work. Okay, so we got hello passed in here. Alright. Okay, so that part's fine. So I guess, like, why is the socket sender not working correctly? So I think what I'm going to do is something a little cheeky, a little bit cheeky, and we're gonna comment this out. We're gonna have this send stuff. We are not going to register the echoer. We will still need the echoer to be a thing. And we'll change the port of this one to 9003. We still want it to connect to the correct echoer, which is this one here. And we register the sender, then we send the bytes to here. And now if I run this, this should have a bunch of send events, and they should show up as echoes on this client. So get net. There we go. The address is already in use, so it's trying to bind here. So I guess what we do is we just grab this address, and instead of trying to bind it for basically no reason, copy it here, paste it inside this connect, get rid of that, save this, run again. Hey, okay, so sent an echo. Oh! Okay, so that works. Okay. Wait, does it actually work in here? I just like was blind to this first word changing. That's possible. Entirely possible. Okay, so let's go run. No, they're all sents, right? By scrolling. I scroll up. Are they ever echo? Wait, if I get rid of the print line for sending, do we still get... Yeah, we get the echo. Okay. It's working fine. It's working as expected. Sick. Very sick indeed. Decisions to be made. I guess the question here is, what do we do from here? What do we do from here? How do we make this into something nice? Okay, so we have the basic setup, which is good. So I guess we will move things into functions. Let's say. So when we have so you want a receiver and a sender on every computer, I guess, in terms of UDP. So we go pubstruct here. Let's go network. We want network? Should we do a connection? Connection. Because a connection has, I guess, a token an ID is its token. What do we use? We use the sender. Okay, so we use this socket thing. Okay, so what if connection is an enum? Because then we have a UDP connection, which contains a UDP socket. And then we have a TCP listener, I guess. Listener, which contains a TCP listener or a TCP sender, I guess. Anyway, we'll deal with TCP in a sec. So connection has a UDP socket, and I think for this we'll have UDP send and UDP receive. And they'll be effectively the same, but one will be like for writing and one will be for reading. Simple. And so if we implement connection and we go PubFN, let's go new UDP sender. We want the port, because the sender will always be your local computer, right? And so only the port matters, and we'll make sure that's a string. And this will return a connection. And so that would be essentially UDP socket bind, and then let's go format. For now, let's just go 1.27.1, and we pass in the port, and then we go parse, unwrap, and once we've bound it, we can do unwrap as well, and then that returns a UDP socket, presumably, and we put this all under UDP send enum value. Then we do the same for the receiver. So UDP receive. We're binding. Okay, so we need the IP address here. So IP string, and so this will become bracket colon bracket. So we have the IP import. Rest of this is exactly the same. So maybe this is connection type rather than connection, because connection also needs the token and register it with the poll and all of that stuff. So yeah, if we rename this to connection type, that's essentially all it is here. Type. Oops. Type. And type. And then we create a struct that is connection. So pub struct connection. Any single connection has a connection type, so we'll also call this connection, and this will just be a connection type. It will have a it will have, what will it have? It will have will it have a buffer? It probably has a buffer, like each one, I don't see why it wouldn't have a buffer. Oh wait, so this is maybe 32. Struct wine time. Every time you say pub struct, it reminds me of the potential bar for oh, that's pretty funny. Wine time. Yeah. Talking about wine one of the downsides of using Mio, which I am currently, and I don't think I plan on changing, is that it doesn't run in Wine, surprisingly enough, because it has problems, but that's okay. Like I think with with the goal of having this be as cross-platform as possible, like you can just compile it for Linux natively and you won't have any issues. So it's like, is it actually a problem? Anyway, so okay, so connection, it has a buffer. Each one has a buffer because they're either sending or receiving, which is fine. They also have a token. They have a token. Is there anything else they have? I think that might be it for now. And so we also have, I think, like a network, because we need to hold the poll, something to hold the poll and make sure everything's running. Wine is pretty cool, but native is even cooler for sure. Yeah, well, yeah. Like, I'm running and testing all of this in Linux, and it won't be a long time until I test it on Windows, probably. But I expect it will just work. But, you know, things don't work quite like that way. Yeah, so you can test on Windows, yeah. Yeah, it will be interesting to have testers for most of my projects, which will be good. Will be very good. Okay, so this needs polling, which is good. Oh, yeah, so it needs polling and it needs events. It needs events. I remember storing these in a struct. Both poll and events had some small shenanigans, just some very small shenanigans that required happening. Okay, so this interest, writable and readable. Like that would be part of this, wouldn't it? We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so if we say this, fields poll, okay, that's fine. So basically, we want to strip this down into a lot less functions. So we need to implement a network. So we go implement network. If we go carb fn new for network, we want it to return a network. Ooh, Windows 11. I have even less access to that. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Okay, so network. So we need the poll and events at very least. So network. So yeah, poll is just poll new. So lit poll equals poll new, and lit events equals event new with capacity. This is go 1. And then we just pass in poll and effects. We need to unwrap the results of poll new. And then that's good. Okay, so then I guess we go like fn. We go like add connection. Because like if we go add connection, then we allow the user to pass in a connection type. Right. Because I guess a network should also have an array of connections. So a vector, sorry, connection, so vector new, network. So we have connections, and it's a vector of connection. Okay, so we're adding a connection. We pass in a connection type because that's most of the unique stuff. So I guess we've already done the new for it by that time. So we've already bound the ports and stuff. And we have a connection type, and so we just need to register it, right? So we go self dot, oh, this needs to be immutable self. Then you go self dot registry, or register, and then we're registering connection. So we go connection dot zero. Um, hmm. Um, Wait, so we'll need to go like if connection type, and then we'll go UDP receive, and then we'll go like address is equal to connection, or wait, can I put ors in here? So then this is address. This is not registry, it's self dot hold a registry. Okay, so is my little weird thing there like weird? I mean, what part of it makes it not work? Is it the or in the middle of it? Do I need to do each one separately? Yeah. Yeah, it might be the or. So if I grab all of this and then I put or here, and we also make this equal connection. It does not like that concept. We do need a let. Okay, if let. And also an if let. Or is the whole thing just an if let? Expected ball found nothing. Uh, Register. Alright, register has a bunch of stuff to it. So address is one of them. For now, we'll just go for that, and interest is going to be readable. We'll get to that in a second, so we'll save this. and mut. Because it's possible that we just do the min and match statement. Maybe that's all we need to do. Because if we go match connection, and then if it's either of those, we do the things. And if it's not anything of that, we'll do nothing for now. What's wrong with my match statement? I mean, one, I'm missing a close bracket. Because if I get rid of this first condition thing, it would work, right? It does, but it says consider changing it to mutable. Okay, so if wait, what's going on here? Why is it underlined? Cannot borrow, so if we go mut and mut. Holy, my keyboard, it's eating my inputs. What is wrong with this? Why are you giving me a little underline? Unreachable pattern. Okay, what if we do just do it manually, separately? We have if it's a connection type receive and if it's a connection type send. Must address. So for receiving, it is reading, and the token, we'll get to the tokens soon, so I'll just keep it as so. We'll just copy this, paste that there. And then the interest becomes writable. And for now we'll go, this is the echoer. Unreachable pattern, that's fine. Okay, so what this will allow us to do, okay, so when we are creating a sender, we have the local port, and then we have the external people's stuff. So this will be target IP and target port. And so for sending, we'll put little brackets around this and we'll put in 2 strings. And then part of this we'll just pass in target IP and target port. We'll go to string and to string, save. We need to make this a big tuple. This becomes the local port, and that way when we come down here we have target IP and target port, and so we will do the address.connect. We're connecting to the target IP with the target port. Right, and then we just parse this, we unwrap it, Do we have to unwrap this again? Is that why it's having a little thing? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we tell it to connect to the correct one, and then we make sure it's writable and that's readable. Okay, cool. Cool. So then, as adding a connection to the network, so this would have done everything before the loops. Now we need the network to handle the loop itself, so I'm just gonna call it poll. I'll take in, we'll just have a mutable self, and then we'll go self poll. We have to poll the poll based on the events and self.events. This is self.poll. Okay, yeah, this is where the weird shenanigans comes in, I think, because borrowing self.events as mutable as well as the poll at the same time is gonna be the spicy part, for sure. Save. No? Okay, just fine with it. I was not expecting that. And then we go for event in events.iter. There we go, over events. So hang on. So yeah, we have the events and we need to match the tokens to the connections. So we go match events.token. It's basically we need to go over all the connections and get their tokens and do the things. Okay. So this is where the token stuff comes in. So the connection type won't have a token, but the connection does. And we need to assign the connection when we add it to the network. And so we need a new variable in network to keep track of the token count, I guess. So there's no letting here. We just go tokens. And this will just be a U32. You think your internet is bugging out, but you don't know if it's your CPU because you're maxing it out right now. It's probably, I'd bet it's your CPU. Everything seems to die when your CPU is maxed. Okay, so if network holds the tokens and they start at 0, then when you add a connection, you go token, and then can I do like a little cheeky tokens plus equal? No, okay. So what we'll do is after adding a connection, we'll go self.tokens plus equal 1. And then this one will also be token self.tokens. Okay, what's going on here? Can I convert U? Okay, let's make a U size then. Tokens are a U size, not the U32. This one For now, we'll just have it catch everything. So that's funny. Okay, so these have yo, Titty Bite. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm just working on my network library or like restarting it. Because I haven't done it in a bunch of years and I was keen for it this morning, so I was like, gonna work on it today. Hell yeah. Okay, so when we add a connection, do we need the user to know about the token? Somehow we need when we receive data. Yeah, I think we do. So I think this spits out a token. And so we go, let's new connection equal to token, and we just do stuff about tokens, and we return new connection here. Am I excited for sports ball tomorrow? It's a national holiday in America. Sarcasm. I won. I guess I don't get national holidays since I'm not in America. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's at least it's a public holiday, right? No work. Oh, hello. Tech or Tech. Not sure. What is my opinions about Web3 and solidarity language? Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow many sports at all, and I have usually avoided them entirely. Web3. Do I know much about Web3? Not really. Is Web3 something? Web3 is something. Okay, so what is this? Web3, which incorporates concepts such as decentralization, blockchain, and token-based economics. Sure. Okay, so Web3 is just what? A decentralized web? It's pronounced solid IDD. Oh, right. Yeah, Web3 Ethereum stuff more or less, but depends on who you ask. Rust is pretty big in that area. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think, I certainly don't have opinions because I don't know much about this stuff, sadly. But yeah, I did work on cryptocurrency once upon a time. I guess this may not be surprising. But yeah, it was a lot of fun because like working on the math was the part I enjoyed the most out of that. Can be gaming, has to be crypto. Yeah. Yeah, and the math there is cool and like all the like trust things and concepts, but it's all very theoretical. And yeah. I don't know, like it'll be interesting to see how all this comes together and if it actually works, because like I guess once upon a time, we almost had something that was like decentralized internet networks, because back before like search engines and like big server companies didn't like websites and stuff to be hosted on local servers at your house, and so that's like kinda but not really decentralization. TM. You can see it being better. Yeah, I yeah. Don't know. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes, and hopefully Hopefully it forces us to drop. Let's go with JavaScript, right? That's what we want, dropping JavaScript. I did see there was a lot of Rust blockchain libraries out there. That was pretty cool. I had a look at some of those. But yeah, tech. Sorry for not really answering your question. I don't really have an answer for that one, sadly. Sadly? Maybe good, better for my mental, but sadly for like knowing what's going on in the web world. A PyTorch alternative for Rust made in Rust? That'd be cool. I think PyTorch is just too big at this point. So you just have to use the bindings of PyTorch in Rust to pretend that it's written in Rust, and you use it as if it's a Rust thing. You'd be like, yeah, PyTorch is definitely in Rust. Okay, so what's going on? So solve the token. Wait, we fixed that. Yeah, we did fix that. Cool. Okay, so we return a token that the user can use to keep track of what stuff is what. And basically from polling, we need to return a vector of, I guess, like a couple of the token. Wait, no. We can have a hash map here. A hash map of a token as the key, and let's go with data as the other one. So I'll just make this a vector. Fuck it. I'll just be a vector of what is it, U32s or something? We need to import hash map from collections. Okay, mismatch types, that's fine. We are aware. So up to the top we go let mut data is equal to hash map new, and then we return data here. That might be a little bit let's call it receive data, so it's a little clearer. Because basically we want to have the user be able to get the data that they have, I guess, requested or need, and do whatever the fuck they want with it. And we don't want the polling loop to be compromised with custom code or anything. What do I think about Bitcoin? If we're talking about Bitcoin itself, like just Bitcoin and not any of the other ones, I think it's neat, and like they have obviously paved the way to proving that virtual money can be real. That's a lot. When did it get that high? Jesus. Virtual money can like be real and used. That's not like provided from banks, and so I really like that. And I guess in concept, I do like the decentralization aspect of cryptocurrencies, but we're moving more into general cryptocurrencies. So like I think other than banks, a centralized cryptocurrency is almost like redundant / like probably not ideal. But for general cryptocurrencies, I think decentralized cryptocurrency is very interesting and also pretty pog, because like it ends up forcing us to have a accurate history of, like, let's say one of the cryptocurrencies, whether it's Bitcoin or whatever, and it does keep this whole like ledger thing, and also like it keeps its digital ledger and database. What it forces us to do, if the whole world did this, we would have to have we would end up having a one-to-one like history book of exactly what was happening with money at any given time. And if it happens over, like, let's say 500 years, like you could just as easily as we do now be like, oh, like in 2022, like in June, like what exactly was happening, who bought what, and what money was transferred. Now this is where the next part that's really interesting is the what's it called, the bitcoins that they are aware of the public ledger stuff, because I'm pretty sure Bitcoin and all of that, they don't, if you can link a I guess like a Bitcoin wallet to a certain person, you instantly know all of their transactions and where they go. And this is obviously kinda against what they were after originally, because you lose your anonymity, that word. You stop being anonymous, and so the dark, what's it called? Sorry, I've completely forgotten the names of all of the cryptocurrencies that I actually looked into in the history of. Can I just get a list of the cryptocurrencies, please? Digital currency? Well, just show me. This is just cryptocurrency, so stable coins, altcoins, purchasing power. Anonymity. Anonymity. Sure, yeah, that's how you say it, but faster. You like put it together. Okay, so what am I looking for? So, oh, fuck. How do I forget the name? Okay, hang on. Wait, was that a table of cryptocurrencies? No. Cryptocurrencies. Hang on, let me find this thing that I'm trying to it's not Ethereum, is it? Sorry, I'm trying to remember the word for like dark coin, or like the security based the people who use like the theoretical mathematics on hiding transactions whilst having the transactions themselves public. What about Worcestershire sauce? What's this? It's easy next. I get it. What's this here? Oh, that's a funny one. Titty bite. That's a funny one. Oh yeah, I am not finding this. Hang on. Will it come up if I go like something silly like secure coin? That sounds like a meme. Australian crypto and bit. That's what I was just on. Private. With Monero. Oh, Monero was one of the leading ones. Monero. It's coming back to me. So you have Zcash, Dash, Horizon. There was one that I really liked. So Monero was a good one for the concepts, because they're like leading in this secret transaction stuff. Let me find the word for it. Your team Monero, if any crypto. You can mine it with a CPU or what? Yeah, nice. Mental Outlaw covered it quite a bit. Yeah, so with Monero, basically they have opted into, well, yeah, they have ring signatures, which has its own thing, but yeah, so this basically, I guess, where like they are obfuscating all of the public transactions. So even if you do get a wallet number that you know belongs to someone, you can't just look through the transaction history and be like, oh, these are all the transactions they've ever done, because each transaction requires what is it? Well, I don't remember if this is what Monero does specifically, because they do have the ring thing, which is neat, but it has some. Well, here we are, zero knowledge proof. This is it. This is exactly what I was looking for. And like, it's very very simple, but like kind of complex to math out slash understand, because like the simplest way to think of it is kind of like the private key public key with SSH, but it's a bit more complicated than that. And all of that data is in every transaction. You just can't really, well, as far as we have in technology, you can't reverse engineer slash brute force it. Ever heard of Polkadot? I saw Polkadot just before on the list of things I was looking at, so not until today. But yeah, zero proof knowledge is very theoretical and very cool, and I think will be the only way in the long term that any kind of cryptocurrency is going to end up being used publicly, especially by like banks and stuff, because banks like pride themselves on making sure, I guess most, if not all, of your transactions are like, I guess, private slash only you plus whoever you want to know knows about it. I guess they might sell it off to third party people, but that might be just what banks do anyway. And yeah. So that is my thoughts on cryptocurrencies, I suppose. So Polkadot. Polkadot cryptocurrency. Can I get a wiki? Is there a wiki of this? Because I don't want to. We don't need to see the price or if it's gone down or up. Here we are. Wikipedia, please. Maxima Monero is not as secure as people think. The ring six stuff pretty. Yeah. So the ring part is the part, because there's another one. There's one that follows closely with Monero that has foregone the ring part, and they replaced it with what did they replace it with? They replaced it with will it tell me here? Like, is there like a competitors? Anyway, let's go. What was it? Zero knowledge proof. So zero knowledge proof cryptocurrencies. But yeah, with all of this privacy stuff and all this zero proof stuff, like, and I guess even regular cryptos, like once we get enough computing power, like all of it goes down the drain unless they update it. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm talking like, what was it, like 5 years ago? I was much more invested in all of this. Like, not actually. I've never put any dollars into any cryptocurrencies. Surprisingly, I guess. A lot of people seem to have, and like some people have made big profits from it, but I was like, nah, can't be bothered. Too much effort, too much randomness, too much like research needed if you actually want to like make a profit. This is not what I'm after. Snarks. ZK. Polkadot. Oh yeah, let's have a look at Polkadot. Went to an event in Chicago recently and had a lead researcher on this suggest that the ring size needs to be like 10 times increased to be effective. He was also the one that said it needed more than 3. When it first started, Monero only did 3 participants in its ring 6. Yeah. Alkaline coin. Yeah, we're gonna start our own crypto. Let's go. Yeah, so if I remember, like I don't remember how exactly ring signatures work, but essentially the more you have, the more people that have to participate to reverse engineer it. And so like because I guess the original one is you have the two transaction people and then someone to confirm that it's a valid transaction. And so you have the payer and payee plus a trusted third party or like an unknown third party. Um, and so in order to and the like public transaction becomes a combination of all of their public and private keys. And yeah, like the more you add, the more complex it ends up being in terms of decoding, I guess. Whether or not it needs to be 10 times or not, that is a different question, I guess. Because, like, sure, if we make it 10 times, sure, it's going to be like, let's go 100 or 1,000 times harder to reverse engineer. But it's going to be a matter of time before we end up having computers that are that much faster, or they have like some I don't know, let's go with quantum computing, and it can just like circumvent our linear slash a little bit exponential computing power growth. And then all of a sudden, all these private or thought to be private transactions slash math things ends up going out the window and are very solvable. Um, hmm. Cryptocurrency blockchain is the dot. Designed to allow blockchains to exchange messages and perform transactions with each other without the trusted third party. As for cross-chain transfers of data or assets between different blockchains, and for decentralized application to be used. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of having blockchains for applications, like it's kind of weird. Like for the longest time, I was like bewildered how it even works. But it's kind of like every transaction that is your game. Let's say that's like an earlier or later version of your game. Yeah, I don't know. Games with I mean, like this has nothing to do with Polkadot specifically. Seems pretty neat in terms of what they're doing. But the games that do use the blockchain, they are very interesting to say the least, as well as very like they have a lot of flaws, and as we know, have also been exploited for very cheap labor, sadly, in some cases. And all right, so returning tokens with their data that they received. So we have a vector of connections. So we have token here, and we do different things based on what they are, don't we? Because like receiving from a UDP, it is a receiver. Receiving from a listener is very different to that. So connections does have its type still. And so I guess we can just do a match statement on Unless we make connections itself, like be inside a hash map, so the network has a hash map and this becomes token and then the connection data. Let's keep it as is for now. So basically we're gonna loop over the connections. And then we're gonna check if connection.token is equal to the token here. And if that is true, we want to match connection, I guess. And then what? Right, I decided to get some water. Alright, so these connections. What are we doing with them? What are we doing with them? Oh, I had a hard time concentrating on what we're coding today. It's been pretty rip. Okay, so when we find a connection, okay, so one is if we do find a connection, we should stop searching the rest of the connections. And then based on the connection, so if it's a UDPC, if it's a receiver, we want to do stuff. Otherwise, I think we don't care. We might care. We very much might care. So receiver, I don't know if this matters. And then we can just go receive data.insert. And we pass in the token as well as the data that we get, which will be this here. Wait, that's receiving, is it? That's sending. This is receiving. We'll paste this here. And this becomes buffer 0 to number received. This is connection type. And instead of echo, this is UDP connection. So we can go here, we can go UDP connection.receive. We need a buffer, which connection actually has its own buffer, so I think connection.buffer should do the trick. Unless, wait. Unless we have connection type handle it. Because this is all within itself. So yeah, if we have connection type handle it, so we go fm receive data and takes in mutable self and it returns, I don't think it needs to return anything actually. And so we then copy this and paste it here. This is self. We need to match this, so matching self. And then if connection type is receive, we have UDP here. And so this ends up being UDP.receive. And then this is self.buffer. Wait, what's the error exactly? Found okay, we need not U32, we need U8. Okay, so then is this a borrow check issue? We don't have a buffer in connection type, but we have a buffer in connection. Oh, right, of course. So implement connection. So the connection itself will have this function, not the connection type. And so this will be self.connection. And then that will update its own buffer, so that's good. And I guess we'll go buffer length. And we'll go U32, no U size. And this will end up being self.buffer length. Then we'll go pop fn get last data. And this will just be an and self. And it returns. I'm going to go with a vector of U8. And so this ends up being self.buffer all the way up to self.buffer length. And then we just put level 2 back on it. And then when we come back down to here, instead of all of this, once we find the connection and the token that is needed, we go connection.receive data, and then we go connection.get last data, and we insert that into the hash map of data. So insert, and we pass in the token and the data itself. This needs to become vector 8. Okay, so this needs to become mutable reference maybe. And token matches any value, that's fine. Alright, so we can just go if event dot token is equal to that, then we can get rid of the match statement entirely. And then this token here ends up, we'll just put it as connection.token. Okay, so that's for polling, and then so it gets the data, and I guess we also want the user's connection to be able to send. Do I need a mutable self for this? I mean, I guess that works. Does it actually compile? It does compile. Okay, so let's see if some of this works. So we've tested none of this. Okay, so if we go let network is equal to network new, do we do anything in new? No, we don't. And then we go let sender is equal to connection type UDP send. We also have let echoer is equal to connection type UDP receive. Okay, so UDP receive has just the IP and port. Oh no, right, we need to use these functions, so connection types, so this is new UDP sender, sorry, receiver and sender, so this is receiver. And so for the echoer, we want the IP of 127. Wait, should that be IP or is it port? IP and port for the receiver. Sure. And then the port will be 9002. And then the sender, it just has the local port, which will be 9003. What's wrong with it? Oh, it needs to connect to, so we want it to connect to 127.0.0.1 at port 9002. I guess in the future we can just pass in a connection here, and instead of like manually just copying it twice, but we're just testing things at the moment. And then we go network.add connection, and we add the echoer, and then we do the same for the sender. We need to make network mutable, and then we can go loop network port. Let new data is equal to that, and then let's just print out the new data whenever there is new data. So we'll just does hash maps have like a length? A length? Yeah, they do. If the length is greater than 0, we'll print out the new data. Okay, so it's running. Can we do our NC command thing? What about at 2 or 3? No. Okay, so if we do just the echoer, and then run this again, and the echoer is at 9002. Okay, something's not right. Wait, echoer should be echoer is fine, because basically if we get data for the echoer, then it's fine. Okay, so we go print run got event from, and then we print out events.token. How does that work? It does not work. Okay, what about sender and sender? Okay, so what were we missing actually? We're missing the part where receive data. That's fine. We're not even getting here. So we're not getting any events currently. Because we're printing out here. So if we ever get any events, it should come up here. Okay, so what if we go... Because how do we send data? We can just... Yeah. Socket sender. Well, that should be happening, right? Writable for UDP send, which will be the sender. So that's sender writable. Writable. Okay, that's fine. And sender connects to the echoer. Because we create the sender and then the echoer. Okay, hang on, what? So we do it in that order, does it not work? No, it does kind of work, I guess. No. Oops. Address connect target IP and port. Is it because we've registered it already? No, add connection. This is add connection. So we would have registered. Yeah, we would have registered it already. Does that matter? Does it matter? Have I ever published a crate? Not publicly, no. One of my old works, they wanted to use Rust, but they didn't want to rely on public servers and public repos and all that. And so I made a local, not made, like I set up a local like Crates.io mirror on their server so that, and also had some of their libraries published to our mirror only. And so we used it as if it was normal Crates.io, and basically the way it would work was pretty cool actually. I had a lot of fun building it because you have all the clients in the company, so these are all your clients, and you have their server and you're like, oh, that's their server. It wasn't very beastly, but it was a server nonetheless. And so all of these, like I made it so they would request their projects would request, how did I do it? Yeah, basically all their projects would request the specific like crates from this server here, And basically this server was, I don't think thin client is the right word, but it came to mind. This server would have like a kinda of a mirror of Crates.io. So Crates.io is over here on the internet. And basically when this client requests a package, let's say Mio, because that's what we're using at the moment. If the server is like, what's Mio? Well, I don't know. It would then personally go over to Crates.io, go, oh, here's Mio, and it would download Mio onto its like database. And then when the next person, let's say this one, asks for Mio, it's like, oh, Mio's right here. And so I'll download Mio. And then like this developer over here, they could publish like the internal crate, and they published it to this server. And so this one had like let's call it C Mio, because it's like custom Mio. And they could publish it to this server, and it wouldn't be publicly available, and it also would just be like locally available. And so whenever these people are just like using, like they just use like in their cargo tunnel, they can just do like C Mio equals and then the version. And it would because the way we had the customization settings, it would always query this server. And so this server's like, oh yeah, C Mio, and it would just work as if it was Crates.io. So technically I've privately published crates before, but not publicly, not on the actual Crates.io thing. But yeah, this was a pretty cool setup. I really liked it, and I was like, damn, that's sick. Because yeah, you ended up saving a bunch of data as well, because like you have like a company with like 1,000 people, let's say, and like let's say all 1,000 use Rust, and all 1,000 of them download like let's say it's a big crate, it's a 5 megabyte crate. Like you're looking at like what is that, like 5 to 6 gigabytes of data right there, and you're just like making that back down to the 5 megabytes, and you get the speed from it too. Was that to prevent updates from breaking anything? It was to prevent, because at the time it was when JS had that thing where one of the most vital crates, one of the most vital libraries, like whoever owned it, they like took it down, and then a bunch of JS stuff broke. And so the company was worried that if Crates.io was to do that, like they'd be fucked, and so they wanted a safety net. And I was like, I don't think Crates.io is going to do that. Like they've purposely made it in such a way that's not going to happen. But if you want this, I can do this. And they were like, yeah, we want it. So I let them do it, or I did it for them, I guess. I got paid. But yeah, so like one was safety of their products, so they can be run like in 1 billion years from now if the hard drive with all these crates still exists. And also yeah, I guess updates too. But I mean, if you actually specify the version in Rust, like updates are not an issue, because you just stay on this version and then you don't have to update. There's no requirements to update, and updates won't break the version you're on currently. You think you remember reading that package messing everyone up? Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was one of the fundamental ones, and the owner, whoever published it originally, they were really upset about something, and so they were just like, yep, crate gone, or library gone for the JavaScript one. And like it was just one of those small out of the thousands that download for like any library you use currently in JavaScript. And so like it was like a big impact to pretty much every single company, because they I guess more often than not, they don't store, they don't do this part where they store the libraries locally on a server, so that if it does break on the external, it's fine. Because yeah, I there was I think quite like maybe even millions of companies were affected by this library pull down. Don't remember though. I just remember hearing about it and being like, damn, that seems brutal. Like, you should come use Rust. It was a Rust promotion for us, I guess. Okay. And then you obviously get the questions of like, well, what if they do it? And we're like, they can't. As simple as that. They can't do it. It's made in such a way when they're not supposed to be able to. Yeah. Yeah, lots of opportunities for sure. So I was working on the game last night, and what was I doing? Is this the game? And I added something new to the game. So I've been working on adding like a little movement mechanic, and so far this is the best I've come up with, is this little like fast dash thing. And I guess what makes it unique, which I'm not sure about how I feel about this yet, is that usually when you stop pressing a key, you can stop. But if I dash and let go of a key, you're like you're committing to the dash. And the other thing that we can do, which might not be very useful currently, is that you can still maneuver around during the dash. You just can't stop moving. And human, welcome to the stream. I just had a small side track into my game from the networking library because I was thinking about it. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like, like I want like I think this game does need some movement mechanic other than just regular moving, because just regular moving is kind of boring sometimes, especially after a long while. And yeah, I haven't figured out how exactly to make something unique that feels good. Was this game made in Rust? 100%. Yes, this game is made in Rust. My networking library that we've been working on today is also made in Rust. I don't know if we'll ever see anything not made in Rust on my channel. Like, I don't know why I would use something that's not Rust. I guess we're yet to see. Like, maybe it'll become a challenge. We're like trying to find things that are undoable in Rust and then do them. Because like I think Rust might be versatile enough to have everything done in Rust. I've already done embedded in Rust before, and that was hella fun. So much better than C. Like, years ahead of C. It's like, because like embedded is kind of like not having a debugger or a compiler even most of the time in C, and so having both of those available in Rust very easily is just insane. 1 million channel point redemption to convert the current project to C++. Oh man, converting it back to C++, shit. That would be painful. I don't think it's possible. I don't believe it's possible. Not the way it's laid out currently, at least. I don't know if I'm up to that one. Oh, 1 million. Someone's gonna get 1 million eventually. I guess like the biggest problem with that is it's been so long that I've done C++ that I'll be like looking up how to do like, how do I add numbers together? I'll be like, what's a variable? Like, what types do they have? Do you even have types? Oh yeah, you do, because you have float, because it's like GLSL, I guess. Just more stuff. So maybe I wouldn't be too, yeah, I don't know. That's definitely a very troll kind of thing. But, in my brain, I'm like, how can I make this happen? How can I make this goal something achievable? Oh. No, I don't think I ever want to touch C++ again. Or C, or anything that's not Rust. I mean, I did a little bit of Scala the other week. That was fine. This is the first time you've ever heard of Rust? I guess, like, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Because, like, Firefox uses Rust. It doesn't entirely use Rust, but it has Rust in it these days, I believe. Because I remember when I was running, Fedora, what's the good OS that you have to compile every day? Oh man, how did I forget that? Good Linux OS. Wait, how have I forgotten it? Gen 2, there we go. When I was using Gen 2, like, Firefox was pretty chill to update until one day it was like, oh, you need Rust, and then Rust took forever to compile, and then it would compile Firefox. I was like, oh, like, Firefox needs Rust now too. You're new to programming in college for software engineering? Nice. Yeah. So, yeah. So C and C++ is by far the most common, especially in software engineering degrees and I guess schools. And it's all very good. And like, I guess the one thing to take away from I guess universities and college and all of that is that they will teach you, what will they teach you? They'll teach you like 1%. They'll teach you 1% and give you the paper. This percentage is like very theoretical because depending on where you go and who your teacher is and what college it is, it could be 1% or it could be like 30%. But there's a cap, and that cap is merely because of time and knowledge. As any, this is really bad handwriting, please don't mind. As any good programmer, like basically, if let's say you're trying to get a programming job, any programming job, doesn't matter. If let's say it's in Python, but you've only done C and C++ and maybe some Ruby on Rails, either in class or on your own. Mostly in class. Like probably like applying for this job probably still viable, and you I guess have to be upfront with them and be like, yeah, I haven't done much Python but keen to learn. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is this 1 to 30%, the companies that are hiring you, so this is the companies that are hiring you, they're aware that universities/colleges only teaching you a variable amount between 1 and 30%. And what happens with that is you end up with, let's say, like, this is the branch of students. You end up with 10 students, let's say, and let's say 3 out of them feel confident, and then the rest of the 6 are not confident. Now, the solo difference between these most of the time is that these 3 people, they've spent their own free time learning and playing around with programming languages. And if you have small projects, doesn't matter if it's a calculator, if it prints hello world to screen, if it like moves, let's say all it does is moves a window around, doesn't matter. Put all of this stuff on a GitHub or a what's the other one? A GitHub or a I don't know the other platform that I've forgotten, and put this on your resume. Because this company, like, even though you, like, let's say don't have Python experience, if you have proven, like, you know how to use GitHub slash whatever the other one is, and also that comes with that is Git, which is the source control stuff, and you're actively doing things on your own, and this ends up being proof that you are like motivated and want to do things. And so if they do get someone that knows Python, but they don't have this GitHub and they don't really have any references, and they either know Python from this or even from their own projects, but none of it's public, there's like a much higher likelihood they're going to hire you even though you don't have the base knowledge, because they're like, oh, this person's really keen, and like they have like very logical code here, let's say, and they'll like take on the task of making sure you learn Python when they hire you. And so I mean, I guess maybe that's what you're up to at the moment. You're exploring the Twitch things to see what you can learn. So maybe you're already on this task, on this path. But yeah, this is really important because essentially, from my own experience, I had no degrees. I had only high school graduation until mid of last year. So this would be 2023.5. Now, after getting my certificate, I've gotten 0 jobs, but that's because I haven't applied. But before this point, purely because I had a GitHub of stuff that I was doing, I have gotten, like 5 or 6 jobs, and one of them was a lead. I was like a lead engineer, software engineer, and the other 2 were I was the solo dev for a small company, setting up like API endpoints and like web hosting stuff. And like I had no web stuff, no API stuff in my GitHub, and they hired me simply because I had all these small projects and I also knew some Linux stuff. And so the proven code, consistency and logical thinking, plus like the little bit of Linux knowledge I know in this particular case, you don't have to learn Linux if you don't want to. That's not a requirement. But in my case, like the Linux did help a bit. I was able to get a job that I have no experience in, and they were like, here's the code, go learn how to do it. And then I did it. So yeah. You've been taught C# and Java so far, a little HTML, CS, JS, and done a little Python. Nice. That's a very nice spread of languages to know. You've taken time to make a repository. Yeah, that's a huge step. I mean, I don't want to make it too big, but making a repo, that's step 1 for, I guess if you want to do this as a career, that's step 1 for the rest of your career. Very nice. You've been doing IT for the last 10 years and you're weak in Linux though? That's fair. That's fair. Like, most people, like, I mean, I guess it is changing a little bit nowadays, but most people know Zero Linux. And like, some web developers are aware of Linux, but they choose not to know about it, so they also know Zero Linux. And I don't know, this is a big question mark for me, because I'm like, how can you be a web developer and not know any Linux? Because like Linux is most of the servers, not all of them of course, but most of them, and knowing how they work and function is going to be vital for like having good web stuff. But yeah, like even having like knowing like the cd command and maybe a cat command, and maybe knowing how to update, let's say Ubuntu. Updating Ubuntu. Update. That is probably more than, let's go with 85% of the population. And so if you know these basic things, like you're already ahead of the curve. And I guess if you're interested in being a developer, working out how to have your project and then compile it in Linux, that would bring you up to like the 98%, because basically at this point you're in line with everyone that is a Linux developer, I guess, because the rest of the setup of Linux doesn't matter. So if you can compile for Linux on Linux, regardless of like it doesn't matter if you use an IDE or just the terminal or a Makefile, doesn't matter. If you can compile an application on Linux, you're like 98% of the way there. The rest doesn't matter. The rest is just like remembering what the image editor is called and like how to install Firefox, and it's very simple stuff. You recommend making a private one where you try to make issues for it and make branches. Yeah. Playing around with Git and GitHub is very, very handy because like I actually don't know, but when I was hired, I think it was 2 years ago, my bosses at the time, when I was hired, they were impressed that I even had like Git knowledge, because they were like, oh shit, if they have Git knowledge, you're already like on the top shelf. So if you have Git knowledge, you're already up here. That's as simple it is, because like they even if you have just basic knowledge of Git, that's more than most people, because most people just don't. They just don't. And companies don't want to deal with people that, one, either don't understand the point of like Git and source control, and they also don't want to teach it, because like for the simple stuff, like it doesn't matter. For the simple stuff, they're like, if you know the simple stuff like pushing, pulling, making a commit, adding commit comments, that's it. That's all you need to do to get started at any company. And those basics, so it's what is it? Push, pull, commit, maybe a merge. This is Git specifically, not GitHub. So Git the program. If you can do these 4 things, the rest they don't care about, because the rest is going to be dependent on how they have their repos and stuff carried out. And if you know these, you're pretty set. And then yeah, as I Love Structs point out, in GitHub you can do issues and stuff, and you can play around with issues, and that's also going to be a great experience to see how all of that works. It's going to be pretty pog. You'd say you're somewhere in the ball of 1%. Nice. You have heard about this, specifically the Git commands, I believe, not necessarily the GitHub GUI version, the commands for branch. Sure. Bonus points for not installing apps with Snap. Oh man, I hate Snap. Like I don't know if it's just because I'm used to all the other stuff, but like I think my pip is installed by Snap like forcibly, and so when I like try to like install I don't know what like yeah, when I try to install something like this, it's like, oh, it's like, I mean, this is not the same thing. This is not the same thing. I had some other stuff that was related to pip and Snap, and it was really fucking with me. So I don't know if that's just because of my experience so far, but Flatpak is probably the next worst thing on my list. But Flatpaks are pretty cool. You've never installed pip, or you never install with pip unless you're in a virtual environment. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I must be just old school, because I'm like, well, like, 1, I don't use Python that often, and 2, when I was using Python, pip was just like the package manager for Python, and that was it. So I was just like, oh yeah, that's easy enough. I can just do pip install, and it's just like using Parmac or Pacman or make pkg. And so when they've changed it, I'm like, well, I have to go do extra steps now, and I can't be bothered. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's a lot simpler than I have thought about it or know about, and I'm just using it wrong. if you make a directory with Python 3, you make a virtual environment that you can then activate and it'll only install in that workspace. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I did that for one of the things I was trying to compile, and I was just following instructions, and I was like, this seems a bit weird. But yeah, it makes sense. It does seem very handy, especially if you need different versions to your operating system. Well, we have edged, apparently. We have edged, so I'm going to be looking at my code and probably not saying much until edged is over. I mean, it hasn't actually said ads have started or not. Oh. So this is the part of the networking that I don't like. When it's working, when you have the commands running at more or less exactly the same way, but it's not working. Wait, what? Ads did not come. Ever thought of making bots with Rutch like Twitch and Discord? I am well. My secret project does involve Twitch, so I'm in the middle of making something with Twitch, and of course it's in Rust. So yes. When I did my API call program with Python for YouTube, use pip to install some YouTube specific things to parse YouTube API. Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be very fun. Like I told my housemate for the first time because they've also been in the dark. Oh, here we are. Well, ads finally started. I don't know why it warns me so early. But yeah, I was keeping everyone in the dark, even my housemate. And I told them the other day, and they pogged about it. I'm like, hell yeah, that's good. Because I was like, maybe I'm just cracked and don't understand what's fun. But they were excited for it, so I was like, yeah. So I've been working on that on the off time. Do they do coding too? No, they don't. I think they used to a little bit, but no, they don't. They don't do the programmings. Ad is still going, so I'm not like too worried about being too entertaining currently. I'm gonna take a drink. What do I have? Pepsi or water? Let's get some Pepsi in me. Maybe I should add a ad break timer thing. A visual timer. Because yeah, I think like most people end up having their ads finish before the full ad break duration, but it's hard to tell because it's like really random. But yeah, everyone should be back now, so hello, welcome back for those ad viewers. Okay, so the only thing I can think about, well, there's two things that I can think that make this not work. One is that when we create the connection type, we do bind these, which is good, but when we add the connection, we do register it before we do this connection thing, and in our little example here that did work, we did the connect before the registration. So I guess if we just add the registry for sending before the receiving one, this connect function should be called first, and that should be identical to what we had in the past. This is not the terminal that I was running things with. Where did that go? Damn, it's gone. It's gone. Let's make this big. There we go. Shameless Shill, you're going to give a presentation on your stream in a little, if you want to watch. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming. Or if I'm not, I have things to do that I have to do after this. Sorry. But yeah, I guess anyone that's interested in whatever that presentation is, like, I guess we don't even know what it's going to be about. Is that a secret too? You're just giving an unknown secret presentation, and no one will know until they show up and be like, oh no, what is it about? And be like, oh, Pog. Net network. Okay, so for some reason we do instantly disconnect. I mean, I guess we could make the sender send data like we did before. But I guess, like, what makes this token match thing work? Because, like, we're not getting any events here, and we are calling poll, right? Yeah, we are polling. And it is in a loop, so we are polling it every time. I mean, I guess I could check the tokens, because, like, what's going on with the tokens? So if I go put line token. So hang on, if I create two tokens with the same inner value, do they come out the same, or does it like have an internal ticking thing that I am basically disregarding? Oh, you know, it's just coming out as 0 and 1. Okay. That's fine then, so 0 and 1. But we're not getting any events, which is the thing that I'm interested in. So why are we getting no events? How? Yeah, so if I comment all of this out and we come back to this other version and we save it, we rerun it, it does stuff, but the receive doesn't do anything. So if we get rid of this sender stuff and we save, and we press run and we connect with this and then we type, it does go through. So if we were to say, let's get rid of the sender and the sender connect as well, and the sender polling, we only have the receiving, and we save this, and then we run it, oops. And then we run this as well. Actually, it's still connected. That still works, even though we only have the echoer, which just receives data. So if we head back to our old implementation, and with our old implementation, we get rid of the sender, as we did with our new one, and only the echoer, so receiving, so UDP is receiving, so that fairly is correct, and then receiving should be a readable one, so receive readable, okay, that's good. And then we poll it, and so, well, yeah, we add connection, which is this register thing, which we just checked, which is correct. And then events does have a capacity, right? Yeah, events has capacity here, that's good. And then we need to do this poll thing, which we do. And then we go over the events. Okay, so this should work the same as this below. So I save this and we go run. Okay, it's not wait. So the first things first is it forces us to disconnect here, so I don't know why that is. And we're not getting any events here because there's no print lines in the run. I wonder what's different. $9,002. That's correct. 9,002. Add connection for receiver. All registry tokens. See, like, I guess the token part's different, right? Hang on. So if I hard code that token, so we go for receiving instead of this, we have UDP echoer. And then here we also do UDP echoer, and we save that. And then we also go, well, like, does that change anything? I mean, I hope it doesn't, because that doesn't really make sense. It does not. And then what if we check if the event token is UDP echoer? Nothing. Connection received data. See, like, the problem is we're not getting this print line ever. I'm not sure why. It's not the buffer, is it? Well, it can't be, because, like, I guess the difference is we create the poll. Echo. So we bind the UDP socket. UDP socket bind. We're going to 9002 here, so we don't use the format thing. And we just use .parse. Really, that won't change anything though. It does not. God damn it. Okay, so yeah, okay. Alright. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna fix this up off stream and we'll continue this next week in a stream sometime once I fixed it up, because like there's something very small I'm missing. It's like one of these is being called out of order and it's breaking it, or something about these tokens is like, well, like I guess the main problem is events is not actually running, because like all we do is create events here and we pass it into the poll function, which we're using the poll function here. So it's like, what is even going on? Like it should be identical, but it's not, and I can't work out why. So yeah, I will be working on the game again tomorrow. Probably the same time. The same time or earlier, don't remember. Or actually later. Hang on, let me check. I forgot I might have a thing at 12:30. Let me double check. Okay, so I have no, same time tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, I should be starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. and it should be a longer stream than today. Today was a very short stream because we actually have people over today and I want to hang out with them. And I'm also haven't had lunch yet, so combination of things, you know. Thank you for everyone that came and followed. I had a great time this stream. Thank you for all the interactions and participating in chat. Maybe go check out Titty Bite stream or whatever that presentation they're gonna give us. Could be pretty pog. Could be pretty pog. Actually, are they streaming right now? Are they streaming right now? That is the question. Sorry, I'm just double checking. Double checking. What is up? Well, they are streaming right now. Amazing. Sick. Yeah, I'm finishing up here, so we might as well go raid them. GDs, have a good lunch. Thanks. Hope you get fixed off that Hope you get that fixed easily off stream. Yeah, it will take a few hours, but it will be like very mind numbing few hours, sadly. How do we do a raid? Raid channel. What? Oh yeah, here we are. Let's go do T-Bite. So I'm finished. And they have a presentation of some kind, so have fun. Have fun over there. I don't remember how raids work. Oh, we gotta wait for the timer. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye. See you tomorrow.